right there. Everybody make some noise. Make some noise. I'm gonna get my music. Get over here, y'all. We're about to get this thing popping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. I feel like I need to have my applause. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Got my little cheaper buddy. Welcome, welcome. Hey, guys and gals. Hey, I know I didn't tag anybody on this one here, so we may have a smaller group that's actually chiming in. But hey, I see some thumbs up and hearts that's coming through here. We are going live from where we at, y'all? Trump Towers. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We don't want to get political all up in here, though. We're going to start a fight. We are streaming live from the tallest building in Bakersfield, California, called the Petroleum Club. And what I have here is a bunch of individuals that have taken some time out of their busy day to come over here, and we ate. There we go. We ate, we drank, and we are being merry, and we wanted to come streaming live to you guys. I see you. Hey, Kathleen Burks. Hey, Jim Neal. Hey, look at y'all. Okay. Just keep it coming, y'all. Keep the love coming. We are assembling today. We just came together to be able to do some things, and we did a lot of it just for really the rules to get people together to do something special. And we wanted to kind of speak into the lives of you guys as well, too. Everybody that you see on this camera here, on this shot, have either been live on my show live at 12:05, or they are guests of people who've been on, or they're people that may not know it, but they're actually going to be on the show soon. So I'm just saying that. So we're coming out. I'm just saying. They have an opportunity to be able to do that as well, too. So, and you guys can feel free to chime in and say some stuff up here. We'll try to keep our eyes on this feed here on Facebook to be able to see what you guys have to say. If you're up there on Instagram, we can't see you. You're just real small. But we're going to acknowledge that you're there. I see some big numbers going on up there on Instagram, too. So here, we came together. We want to be able to kick off this 2020 with a message that inspires you, motivates you, encourages you, educates you, and depending on where you're at in your life, it just might transformate you. You guys believe in that? What? Yeah, what? They say amen, able man, all of that. What's going on? And so I thought what better way to be able to kick that off is we're just doing impromptu, meaning that it's not scripted. I wanted to chuck something out there that I think is one of the real reasons for the season of my life, which is to, at the end of the day, we're all made up of this thing called matter. And at the end of the day, people say, Cedric, why do you do this? Why would you go and you put money out there and be able to put something together to be able to try to do this? Why? And here's the why. It's because I'm afraid. I know that sounds savvy, but let me clean it up. I have this fear of one day dying after having lived a life that really didn't matter. A fear of tiptoeing through the life only to get to the other side where you really didn't do nothing. You came, you saw, but you really didn't conquer. And so when I bring these like minds together and I'm able to get these individual energies in here, we're creating a synergy that will not only just bless us from being here in the room, but also be able to bless you out there wherever you are. You guys agree with that? Yes. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about this thing, legacy. I know what legacy means to me, but I'm going to pitch it to somebody out here in the audience that just a quick little quip of what legacy means to them. Anybody want to take the mic? Legacy. Legacy. It's one of those things that when you put under the gun and say, hey, let me share something about that. Here's what legacy means to me. I'm going to kick it off. Here's what legacy means. You see this? This is a brick. Now, it's not a real brick. Thank God for that. However, and the brick has a question mark on it. I'll never forget, I was down at my son's college in San Diego, in Point Loma, and I was walking up to their student center, and I looked down and I saw these bricks about this size, and they had people's names on them. And not only the name, but the date they were born, the date they passed, and also it had certain things that they wanted to say. And I said, wow. And somebody told me, another student said, yeah, they paid X amount of dollars for just one of them breaks to be there. And so I asked myself, I said, well, why would somebody want to pay, I think it was like $250 or something like that to have a brick put on that walkway? Why would they want to do that? I'm going to pitch it to my audience. Why do you think somebody would want to pay money, good money, to have a brick put on a pathway that a lot of people over the years are going to be walking on your face, so to speak? And why would you do it? What's that?
To make a mark.
To make a mark. I don't know if y'all heard. Can y'all hear that? Because Jennifer said it's to make a mark. Anybody else want to chime in?
To be remembered.
To be remembered. Yes, yes. To make a mark, to be remembered. I agree. Anybody else in the third one? We got a third one?
To impact other people.
To impact other people.
Yes.
Decide for a greater cause. Oh my gosh, y'all. We can actually applaud that because that is something that's I totally believe in. And I like to say this. I know that sounds cheesy. I got a real audience. We can actually Yeah, so this legacy thing is something that I think we all should be focusing on. Because like it or not, you are leaving some type of legacy. Some of you are for a legacy of what not to do, and some a legacy of what to do. And be quite honest, if we're all honest, we all are leaving a legacy of what to do and what not to do. We just hope that it's more of the main one, which is what to do. So we're going to challenge you guys as you lean forward in this year. Don't think from the selfish ambition I view, but think from one that's actually more that's a selfless I view. Anybody have any thoughts on that? As far as the selfish, self versus selfless? See, they're E.F. Hutton. They're quiet. Logan, yes.
I'd say selfish is when you're like, you just think of yourself, but when you're selfless, you think of other people and you want to help other people instead of just doing what's best for you.
Is your mic on?
I don't know.
You'll turn it on. I turn you off? Oh, you off. Okay. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 3. Hey, there we go. Say it again.
Shoot, I almost forgot what I was going to say.
Selfless versus selfish.
Okay. Selfish, I think, is when like you just do what's best for yourself, but when you're selfless, you do what's best for other people, and you care about others more than just yourself.
Yeah, I got that. We'll applaud that. Anybody else want to answer that? Now, here's one that may throw you for a loop. I believe that we're in this life thing. It's okay to be selfish for selfless reasons. Let me explain. See, it's okay. And I don't know if you've never been on a plane before, but when they say, hey, put your seat backs and tray tables in the upright and locked position, and they say in the case of a loss of cabin pressure, they tell you that these little apparatus called oxygen masks are going to fall from the ceiling. And then what do they tell you? They say, put that mask on who first? Yourself. Why? I think we all agree that so you can be able to take care of yourself to be able to help somebody else, right? So such is life. It's okay to take time away from others to be able to empower, encourage, uplift, inspire, motivate. Because the first person you should be trying to be holding to as far as inspiring and motivating is guess who? Ourselves. Say it again. Yourselves. And so we want to shout this out to you. It's okay for you to be able to take some time to be a little bit selfish. I know that word has been thrown around. It sounds bad. But no, reframe it. This selfish thing can be something that's actually good, that gives you an opportunity to be able to empower yourself or equip yourself or educate yourself or all of the above to be able to better serve somebody else. Would you not agree? Yes. So I said another thing. Oh my gosh. In terms of this thing that starts with L and it ends with a R, it's called a leader. And we have a lot of those in here in this room. And those of you who are viewing us right now, This is where you may think you may need to check out because you don't think you're a leader. But I'm here to tell you, I don't know, I'm going to ask my audience, do you think that leadership is just designed for specific people or what? No? Okay. You want to expand on why that's the case? Oh, hey, thank you. Okay, listen up.
I think we find leadership in issues that are passionate to us. And there's so many issues that are passionate in this world that we're not speaking on. And so everybody has a voice. And you've helped me find mine. And I'm seeing when I talk to other people, I remind them, you have a voice, you have a purpose. So use your voice, inspire others. You might not think that you matter or you'll make a difference, but you will. Absolutely.
Let's applaud that, y'all. Thanks for your contribution. This leadership thing is thrown around, I think, a lot, but at the end of the day, it really is something that I think it's just for old people. What do y'all think about that? No? Maybe it's just for middle-aged people? Oh, young people who are vibrant. Yeah? Yeah? No, just for them? No? Okay, I see a lot of hands shaking. Like, no. Leadership is for everybody. And I believe that the LEADER of leader stands for leveraging experiences and delivering exceptional results. Anybody not agree with that? If you do, let me try to talk you off the ledge, because this is what it means. Leveraging experiences and delivering exceptional results. That's what leaders do. They take what you've actually done in this life thing, those experiences that you've come through, the minefield that you've traversed, and hopefully you had a mentor or somebody else who was a leader that exhibited some stuff and was teaching you where to step, and thank God where not to step, and they have some fruit on the tree in the form of missing limbs to show you that they've actually been there. And being able to pattern your life and say, hey, I can shred this and make this thing happen. So taking those experiences and applying them to your space, whether that be in your sport, whether it be in your job, whether it be in your household, try that one on for size, or any other space. We will always have a time where there will come where we have an opportunity to be able to lead people. The question is going to be, will you be ready? And I would hope that you can answer that question with a resounding yes. But here's the catch. There's always a catch. But we're going to share it on the other side of this dance break. All right, guys, we're going to come back. We're going to tell you what the catch is as far as this leader thing when it comes. We got to go to our sponsors. Okay, we don't have any sponsors. Not yet, not yet. All right, welcome guys. If you're just joining us and this just popped up on your notification thing, you're probably saying, what the heck is going on? Where are all these people at? We're at the tallest building in Bakersfield, California. For those of y'all who don't know what Bakersfield is, just Google it. Just Google it. We're right here in the center. They call it the armpit of California. I don't agree with that, but I understand. I get it. Okay, well, we're gonna roll with what we got. It ain't what you're dealt, it's how you what? Play the hand you are. That's right. Well, it's like life is dishing out cards at random. It's like you get a card, you get a card, you get a card. Can I choose a card? No, you can't choose a card. It's a card. It's a card. It's a card. Can't choose a card. So, but it's not the cards that are dealt to you. It's how well you can play. Y'all scared? How well you can play those cards. And in terms of this leadership thing, when I say I hope you are ready when you get the opportunity to be able to do that, the only way that can happen, when I say there's a catch, the only way it can happen is if you are engaging in some daily disciplines that will allow for you to be able to excel. I call it the D8 formula. See if y'all can follow this. There's 8 Ds here. Doing daily disciplines daily develops dominance and determines destiny. I'll say it again for some of y'all who's a little bit challenged. Doing daily disciplines daily develops dominance and it determines destiny. What that means simply is the things that you do day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out will determine what you will dominate, and that in turn determines your destiny. If you believe that, say, oh yeah. See, we all agree. And so we want to encourage you, engage that formula, because there's another catch. It's good or not so good. What are you doing? Even if you're doing nothing, that is a choice. And one of my biggest things, and I think Shanita alluded to this a little earlier, I think it's one of the most powerful words in the English language that doubles as one of the shortest words in the English language. I feel like I need to do a drum roll. Drum roll, please, drum roll. Yes, this word is so powerful. And it's short, too. So don't miss it with the number of letters. Bam! That's it in all its glory. It's the word or. And the reason why this word is so powerful, I'm going to let somebody who know why it's powerful chime in. Anybody? I got crickets up in here. Or, yes. Okay, pass it. That's Joel.
So we think about the word or, we're thinking about, are we giving ourselves an option to choose what we want in life, right? So do I want this or do I want that?
Yes.
So I have to make a decision. At the end of the day, I have to make a decision. So today, it's a great event, and I was thinking when I was talking to you, Cedric, when we talked about this event, should we do this or should we do something else? Because we chose to create this event and make it a reality, that's why we're here today. So
Yes.
what is your decision? That's what it means to me, at least.
Awesome. Let's
Good choice.
Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Thank you, guys. Hey. And just so you know, there's no right or wrong answers here. We can all pivot to various things. And he's exactly right. When in terms of or, meaning that word infers that you have a choice in everything that you do this side of the universe. We have a choice. So you could choose to go left or you could choose to go right. You can choose to go up, down. You can choose to go negative or choose to go positive. You can choose to go right or choose to go wrong. It's all a choice. Even if you're not making a choice, that's a choice. Would you not agree? Yes. So I want to encourage you going into this 2020 that you actually pay attention and deposit that word into your vocabulary in terms of, hey, I have a choice. We're not resigned. I don't know. Let me throw this out for discussion. Does anybody believe that we're resigned to a fate and no matter what we do, it's just going to happen no matter how we have no contribution? Anybody believe that? It's okay if you do. Resigned to a fate in our life where we can't control. Pardon?
Assign. In other words, we're assigned. Is that what you mean? Like assigned to
Yeah.
a particular fate?
Yeah. Does anybody believe that you pop on this planet and you're resigned to a certain fate where it doesn't matter what you do, this is just gonna happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm agree with that. That you have no participation in it. Okay, let's take a poll. I'm just curious. Guys, y'all get to watch this. Let's take a poll. How many of you believe that you pop out of that womb, they slap you on your butt, and from there, everything else is just your fate? There's nothing you can do to contribute or to take away from that. It's just gonna happen to you no matter what you do. How many believe that? Raise your hand and say, oh yeah. Or just raise your hand.
Okay, but I'm gonna interrupt.
Oh,
Yeah.
you got one.
Okay, a couple things. One, I don't necessarily always believe in or because I think there's and you can keep adding and, so you don't always have to choose, but you can keep growing. And sometimes with or makes you think you have to leave something behind. And I also think that there are times when even the bad was a part of what shaped me. And so I don't necessarily want to go away. It doesn't mean I need it to influence my life. And as far as coming out and what our predisposition to, yes, I think there is a path, but we're in the United States where we have unlimited abilities, but we also have to know that there's a different path. And sometimes choosing that path can be extremely difficult because it doesn't feel natural and it doesn't feel right. But it could be right, but it's just you're in the wrong place. So that's what I say. Sorry, I had to take over. So.
Okay, I got that. No, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for engagement, y'all. Let's clap it up for her. That's Miss Talkalicious. Talkalicious.com. her podcast. I don't know. Anybody want to dovetail off of that? Just kind of seize it. Oh, hey, pass the mic. Pass the mic. Sherry.
I believe that when we're born, God has us destined for something. And we ultimately will still end up doing that no matter if we get sidetracked or thrown off or something, but we're still born to do something.
Got it. Okay, y'all want to clap that up just so I can
We don't know
Anybody?
what that is. Sometimes we don't know, or we haven't learned it yet either. And also understanding that we do have a purpose, not necessarily a passion, but a purpose. And when we feed that purpose, we feed the world.
Okay, she didn't have a mic, but it was.
That's okay. You can take it.
Here's good stuff.
You go.
Maybe. Go ahead.
Well, when you had Terrence on here, Terrence was talking about hope.
Put it on your chin. Put it on your chin.
Okay, when you had Terrence Minoy on here, Miracle Minoy,
Yeah.
he was talking about connecting the dots. And I agree with what you say, Sherry, because things happen in our life, but when we start connecting the dots, we see the reason why those things have happened and why it was God's plan and our purpose for those things to happen to make us who we are, good or bad things. So I agree with that.
Right. Awesome. Let's clap that up too, committee. Yes, you're just joining us. We are at the top of the tallest building here in Bakersfield, California, which is the Petroleum Club, and I am surrounded by a bunch of people who've actually been on my show live at 12:05. We thought we'd get together, eat, drink, and be merry, and at the end of the day, we would come live at you to be able to drop some incredible nuggets for you to be able to go out there and live a better life and equip yourself and empower yourself and put some stuff in that toolbox that will put you in a position to be able to pivot when that stuff happens to you. Let me explain stuff, S-T-U-F-F. Situations that uncover fear or faith. Any thoughts on the stuff? Because we all have it. We may not want to admit it. It's funny because, they say we all have stuff and we're all products of our prior experiences, but only the successful would admit it. But I take challenge to that. It's like, hey, I know, just like Ms. Talkalicious, which is Christine Saldivar, by the way, like she said, hey, we can use those bad experiences to our benefit as well, too, because if not, it's just a waste. So if something's happened to you, it's not just to you, it's for you to be able to use it. In fact, I'm a firm believer that the most inspirational stories are the ones that embody struggle.
Yes.
Do I agree with that?
Yes.
Ms. Talkalicious,
Sorry.
chime
I
in.
talk a lot.
You need to come up closer.
Yeah.
So we can't reach so far.
Well, when you're talking about the stuff and what's in our tool chest, the other thing that I wanted to bring up is I think that we have to also be able to question ourselves and question our path. And I think a lot of people don't ever question what they're doing, their actions, their words, their things. And until you willing to take a good hard look, you can't make those changes that you're interested in, and you can't fill up your toolbox because you don't think there's any tools to be found. But there are things in there. So yes, I do think that you have what you need, but if you don't question yourself, you don't challenge yourself to question your thinking, to question your life choices, to question how you're going about things, then you'll never change and grow.
I agree with that. And we're clap it up. Clap it up. I've heard it said that if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So it's only a fool would pray for greener grass and then curse the rain. It's like, no. You want to grow? You like confusing God. Like, no, make me skinny and make me rich and physically fit. And Lord, okay, but don't give me no adversity. So I think see God like doing this like, what? Huh? I'm confused. No, you need that stuff to grow. The CHANGE of change is choosing to have a new goal to explore. That's change. So you get to that one, you check it off. You get to the next one, you check it off. And as we kind of alluded to earlier, talking about connecting dots, it's funny how you can never look forward in life and connect dots. But you can always look back over your shoulder in life and see how the dots connected. Is there anybody in the room that I actually given a bracelet to? Hey, well, hands high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a few closet ones. Okay, you got bracelets. Oh, you got community shop to give away bracelets. We're talking about the beads. Girl, you in your game. She's got one, yes, Jamie. And let me see. Let me show these people out there in TV land. Okay, what I have here is this is a bracelet that has some, I call them dots. could be seeds, but whatever. And what it's to represent. In fact, I'm a firm believer that our minds are built for speed, but not for retention. It's not until we put things in our path and in our face in order to be able to keep us focused on the important stuff that it will actually stick. Here's that daily discipline thing again, putting stuff in front of you. And wearing something like this here is to remind you that, hey, we can't connect dots efficiently or effectively out in the future, but we can look back and see how the dots connected. So you, I don't know about you, but you, no, I'm just kidding. All of you are in a dot. You too. You're in a dot. You may not understand it, but this life is under no obligation for you to understand it. I'm gonna say it again, some of y'all missed that. This life thing is under no obligation for you to understand it. You have to work at understanding it. And you don't know what you don't know until you know it. I think you alluded to that earlier, Christine, just a few minutes ago. You just don't know. And so you can question where you're at in your spot and start looking for an opportunity to say, how can I get better here? How can I pivot to something that's over in this spot? And if you get it wrong, that's okay. How do you feel about failure? There's one. Here's one. I want to see what they feel about, ooh, this is a hot topic right here. But it's on the other side of this break, y'all. On the other side of this dance break, we are riding live from the top floor of Bakersfield, California. And we're going to let y'all build a little bit. Y'all may not like my music, but it's okay. It's warming up, can you feel it? It's warming up, can you feel it? It's warming up, can you feel it? It's warming up. Okay, do I gotta use my clap button? We're back from the break. Yes. Hey, we can't have no fun. I don't want none. So we want to make sure we have some fun too, guys, but at the same time being informed. Oh, here you go. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. Failure. Okay. And I know Talkalicious got something to say about this, but I want to get somebody. Y'all gotta understand, she has her own podcast. So if I throw to her, she gonna say, I ain't got to really set it up. She'll jump in there and be like, hey, I want to share. And she don't always agree with me, so that's good. And I don't expect people to always agree with me, because the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
That's right.
And if you and your spouse are the same, one of y'all is not necessary. I'm just saying, the differences is good. It's like giving instructions for folks. Okay, failure. And how do you feel about that? Oh, hey, we got Shanita. Ooh, Jamie has some too. Okay, so Shanita, then there she go. Take it, girl. That's right, failure. How do you feel about it?
Okay, so failure is absolutely scary, but I've learned that you can fail forward because failure actually teaches you how to not fail. And we were talking about stuff a few minutes ago, so you said, go ahead and tell me that.
The stuff, STUFF of stuff, situations that uncover fear or faith.
Well,
Okay.
I got my fear from faith. I mean, my fear of failure from my stuff, and I became successful from my stuff. So, say it again.
Stuff.
Situations that unfold from
that uncover fear or faith.
That uncover. Yes. So situations came from my childhood and being awarded the court. Okay, but that's just a situation that unfolded my fear and pressed my faith, because now, because of my stuff, I can help someone else. And I don't mind failing because my failure has built my strength from my stuff to help someone else when they fail, and also give someone encouragement through my stuff. So my stuff actually helped me be able to assist and help someone else.
Wow, that's a broad name. Thank you, Shanita. Yes. Jamie, you was going to say something about the failure thing too?
Failure.
Well? Listen up. This is good stuff, y'all.
I had a professor, I believe it was, that said that failure is the first attempt in learning.
Ooh.
So don't take a failure as being the end, but it's a learning experience. Learn from your failures and see where you need to change and
move forward.
I don't know if y'all caught that, but there's an acronym there, FAIL for fail, first attempt in learning. I love that. We're gonna call that. Yes, yes. Failure, guys. I think failure is the most creative forms of feedback there is in terms of those who want to succeed. And success, oh, watch this, y'all, listen up. Success in the absence of failure does not exist. It just does not. In fact, some people poo-poo the word and term failure, and some may even say that failure really doesn't exist. You're like, okay, that's cute, but at the end of the day, we may do something and not get it right. You want to call that failure, you want to call that setback, you want to call it whatever. At the end of the day, it's designed to make you a little bit stronger. I call it adversity. In fact, adversity comes in a lot of different shapes, sizes, and colors. And one of the colors is failure. And if you believe that, say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I got like an amen corner here. If you don't believe, just say, oh no, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. Adversity, ADVERSITY. Here's adversity. Ability to develop via experiencing rough situations that involuntarily train you. I know it's long, but there's a lot of letters there for that acronym. But if you think about it, it comes to make you stronger. Those who are looking to avoid the adversity or the mountain, they're praying the wrong prayer. I know this may not be agreeable with everybody in the room. It should be, oh Lord, move my mountain. I think it should be, no, Lord, give me the strength to climb it. Or, oh Lord, just take away my stumbling block. No, Lord, give me the wisdom to recognize that's what it is, so I can go around. So praying the right prayer. And this, I don't want to get all sappy and religious, but here's the thing. Everybody knows, okay, let's just transition on the next thing. Failure is definitely something that we can learn from, and we can transition into the next step. Anybody got any? Yes?
Of course I have a thought.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Come on. I told you to get this seat right here.
Yeah. Going back on the failure thing, what I think is interesting is, as a generation of parents, we are not allowing our children to fail.
Ooh.
And so I feel like we're doing a disservice to our children, and that's why as they get older, they're having a more difficult time dealing with life because they're not getting the true adversity until they get smacked in the head with it when they graduate high school. And I personally feel like we talk about it, we know the importance of it as adults, but why don't we feel like it's important enough to teach our children and to allow our children to fail?
Wow. Okay. I love it. I love it. I agree. I think one of the big, I'm going to dovetail off of that too, and to your point, is that I think one of the biggest disservices that we can ever exact upon our kids is to safeguard them against struggle and adversity and challenges. Am I saying let them go out there and run in front of a bus?
Yes. Teenagers, yes.
Yes.
Teenagers, yes.
The teenagers. You saying. Yo, we don't want you to just let them, she's joking, of course. We don't want, yes, we're not saying go out there and let your kids just run amok and roughshod out there and learn, because a lot of people say that experience is the best teacher, but I truly believe that, yes, that may be true. However, learning from somebody else's experience is just plain old smart. If you believe that, say, oh yeah. Yes! Okay, guys, you're just joining us. I'm streaming live from the tallest building in Bakersfield, California. If you don't know where that's at, just Google it. We are like halfway between, which city we're going to choose up north? Halfway between which city? San Francisco? And which one? Fresno? We're halfway between Fresno and what we're going to choose south. LA, that's where we're at. A lot of people say that's the armpit of California, but if it's the armpit of California, we have some of the best people in California in the armpit. So there we go. They're clapping. They're clapping. They're clapping. They're clapping. That's right. That's right. She said we're the best hairs in their armpit, and the other one said it's the armpit because we're so hot. See, I got a bunch of characters in here. They all want to speak up and share some stuff, and that's good. I'm loving it. Okay, I see some of y'all over there cheering. Oh, Letitia, you're here. I see you. Okay. Faith, I see you too. What are you doing? Okay. Shanita, you're here too. Sheila, everybody's on there. Okay, good. That's good stuff. Okay, next thing. I know this one thing that I know can really help you guys in this 2020. And just so happened, this is the only decade. This is not just a new year, y'all. This is a new decade. They say the most successful out there, see if you can follow this, the most successful out there actually think in terms of decades. They don't think in years, or they don't think in months, or some people can barely get past a day about what they're gonna do today. Am I saying, hey, I wanna say this. The now is extremely important. Don't worry in advance about stuff that has the highest percentage of chance of not happening. And don't worry and pay attention to too much in your past that you cannot undo. Anybody believe that? Oh, no, come on, girl. I'm kidding.
This is actually one of my favorite things when you're talking about the looking forward and living in the past. If
Yeah.
you're living in the past, you could be depressed. If you're looking too far forward, you could be anxious. But if you're living in today, you're actually living.
Oh, I
So
love
there you
that.
go.
So live in the now. Yes. Letitia.
You need to cut that out.
Hey, we can go back and watch this. You know, we go back and watch it. Oh, like Letitia.
I like that.
I know
I
this.
like it.
Guys, we just watching us. We are having a lot of fun. We're at the top building. We just ate and got fat and happy. And now and we said we want to share a little bit of our lives with you. Most of the people that are here have actually been on my live show. Thumbs up and hearts. I see that. I feel it. Hey, Debbie. We're missing you tonight, girlie. Hey, Anthony. I see you. What was it, Anthony? Anthony. Oh, Anthony. Got you, Anthony. And over there on Instagram, I know y'all like the little people that we try to ignore, but I see you there. And if you're on YouTube, later on, there's a little floaty right here over in this area. Just subscribe to the channel right here. And all the other platforms, we want to give you some nuggets. Have we given some nuggets so far today? Yes? Okay, there's some people out here that I know have some input. And I want to give them a chance to say something on this one topic that I know we can all benefit from, because they all have it. But you may misunderstand it. But we're going to expand on it after this dance break. Come on, y'all. It's a dance break. It's not a dance break. Applause, we come back for the break. The applause. Everybody. One day I'm gonna make enough money to have my own producer. Right now I'm stingy. I used to do it myself. Press all the buttons. I wish y'all could see this. Y'all can't see this, but there's like all kinds of buttons I got here. And I had somebody on live the other day that was in on the show. They was like, "Did you do all them buttons?" I was like, "Yeah, one by one." So you got all these different buttons. You guys can't see them, but hey, we're having a good time here. Okay, but I teased you on the other side of that break, and I said I'm gonna get some input from some people that are here that I know you got stuff to say. Here's the thing. People got stuff to say. It's just, you gotta set it up and slide and sometimes make it, contribute. But they have it, and if they miss it, then I think you miss the opportunity to be able to bless some other people. So here's this thing. We all deal with it. Some of us may misunderstand it. But today, I'm probably gonna give you two different sides of it based on how this audience responds. And that thing is called stress. Raise your hand if you don't have any stress in your life. Y'all understood the question, right? Okay. Well, we got one stress-free? Stress-free for now? Okay. Got it. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm glad. Let's clap it up, Jennifer Edwards, thank you. She was brave. That's it. Okay, I can hear you. Pass that back. Go ahead, Jen. What you say?
There's stress, but I feel a lot of joy in the stress.
Mhm.
I'm able to still have the joy with the stress.
In spite of it, huh?
Yes,
All right. Okay, let's clap that up.
and that's not my doing either. So.
And here's the thing with that anyway. I was going to remind you guys. There's three different ways or positions to be in terms of stress. One is you got a little bit in your life. Two is you're about to have something in your life. Three is you just came out of something. Just take a pick. Somebody somewhere in that actual stress thing. But here's the thing. I'm gonna share my thought, and then I'm gonna pitch it to somebody out here for them to be able to share with it the stress thing. In terms of stress, I think one of the biggest myths is that stress is to be avoided at all costs. That's what people, I think they believe that. However, I've learned from people who are smarter than me, and from the thing called life as well, is that stress is not to be necessarily avoided, it is to be managed. Anybody got a take on that they want to share as far as this stress thing being managed? Because I'm gonna keep talking. Okay, here we go. Ooh, okay, we'll go with you and then we'll go with you. It's Nadine. Hey, Grace.
Well, when Cedric first came back into my life, I didn't know how to manage stress. So he said, you come and see me once a week. And then that helped me. Talking to my friends, talking to my therapist, reading helped me learn to manage my stress. And then my high blood pressure came. So even now I'm learning how to manage that, how not to let stressful situations alter my health.
Mm.
And so it's very important to make sure that we take those mental health days, to make sure when we create boundaries and take things off of the list that we don't necessarily need to do, because we want to maintain the level of stress, but we don't want to depreciate the value of our lives or our health. Because again, we're not helping anybody. I love you right now, you're brick.
Yes.
We don't want to be in a position where we can't help people if we're stressing ourselves out too much.
I agree.
Where am I passing?
I agree. We're passing. Joel.
Actually, I wanted to hear from someone that hasn't spoken yet, and I have someone in mind, but I don't want to put that person.
Oh, you want to put him on the spot?
So.
Okay, so we're gonna keep rolling. Yeah. Well, Angel, you got the mic. Stress? Stress. As far as stress, we think the biggest myth. The biggest myth is that stress is to be avoided at all costs. But I don't believe that. I believe stress has a job to do, and stress has to be managed, because the unmanaged stress is where the part that really gets you. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so this week has been very stressful for me because, you know, we had someone that had, one of the queens that had cancer, and she passed. And so that was hard. And then I found out somebody else passed 2 weeks ago. I just found out this week. And then another person that I made a wig for, she just, you know, passed. And so I just found out that. So that's 3 people this week. What I can say is that what I do when I have stress, either I go to God, I reach out, or one thing I make sure that I don't do is I try to encourage other people while I'm going through, and I keep moving. I don't stop. I try not to stay in that place. Keep going, no matter what it is, and deal with it. You know, that's what I do.
Let's clap that up. Thank you for contributing. Yes, I agree with that. If you guys, you're just joining us, we are streaming live from the tallest building in Bakersfield, California. And I have a group of a lot of like-minded people here that are progressive in their way of thinking. Do we all have it figured out? No, we do not. We are all short in more ways than one. However, we are progressive in our thinking as far as, hey, how do we be better today than you were yesterday? I call them green beans and green jelly beans and grasshoppers. We're people that are progressive in their thinking. They're dream-driven, goal-getting, passion pursuers on a mission to try to do something a little bit better to help this hurting humanity. And every last one of the people who are in here have exhibited that in some way, if I know them. And in some way, shape, or form, because we all have the 5 T's in motion. Those 5 T's are given. I'm going to share those with you. I would do it after the dance break, but now we're going to just throw them at you real quick. And then I'm going to get their take on it as well, too. Every last one of them, the 5 T's. Anybody know one of the 5 T's of giving? Treasures. Yes, Shanita. Tenacity? Okay, well, that's not one of my 5 T's, but that's a good one. That's 5 T's of giving. Time. Yes, time. I feel like, in fact, if y'all don't know what I'm sitting on one of my favorite props when I'm out there doing my thing or whatever. It's because time is, I think, the most valuable piece of currency we have this side of the universe. And here's the reason why. Right after this dance break, y'all, no, I'm just kidding. Well, that's a good teaser, though, right? Here's the reason why. It's because time is finite, not infinite. So that means, what are you doing with that time? The treasures of it. in how you leveraging it. That's the next T. Any other T? We got time. We said treasures.
Transparent.
Well, transparency. Okay, that's a good one. Not one of my T's. But Joe, you warm. You warm. Here's one. Here's one. Here's a T. Here's a T. Here's a T. In fact, a lot of people may say they don't have this T, but you do if you really think about it. Everybody has the T of a testimony.
Oh, yes.
The T of testimony, because whatever happened to you didn't just happen to you for you. It happened for you to get through, to show someone else they can too. And I tried to make it sticky for you, make it rhyme, because it's true. So leveraging your testimony, and I always say everybody's got a book in them. The tragedy is most people go to the grave without ever putting pen to paper to be able to write it and make it readily accessible for the masses to be able to view it. And I asked the question, I say, hey, if you could have a book, it's great. If you could have a book from your great-grandmama's grandmama of all the stuff that she went through and traversed the minefield, would that be of value to you? And they all said,
Yes.
yes. Some of them were thinking about it, but yes, they meant yes,
No.
yes. Okay, so then if I were to ask the same question to your great-grandson's grandson about you, would they think there would be value in a book that you create for them? The answer is absolutely
Yes.
yeah, it doesn't change. It's evergreen. That means that it never changes. The dates may change, but we all have to deal with adversity, struggle, stress, the leadership stuff. All these things are evergreen. Anybody not getting this tonight? Is resonating? Y'all good? Good? Woo! Okay, great. So in terms of this, how long we been on? It was 9:30. Okay. This is good. This is good stuff, though, y'all. So in terms of the T's, treasures, testimonies, time. There's another one. Talent. Who said it? Yes, Peter. Peter, you said something tonight. Y'all gotta know Peter. Peter's like that little quiet dude in the corner. Peter. Yes. Say it again. What was it? Talent. We all have a talent. But I ain't got. Well, you say, I ain't got no talent. I ain't got. Yes, you have something. That's your homework for life to find out what it is. Here's the last T. I feel like I need to do a drum roll. The last T of giving is in those moments when no word can fill the void of what's needed for that friend, family member, or even foe. All you can do is stand in that moment and shed some tears. Yes. We can give that one too. Oh, there's one more. Here's a bonus T. Even if you think you don't have anything to give, you can always give thanks that you have something. Okay, look at that. Yes. Anybody want to expound on that? Those 5 T's with the bonus 6 T? That we want to toss it up to you.
I will.
Hey, Tiara. Hi. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
I just want to say I do disagree on the end part that you put on the testimony. Reason being is because if we knew everything to watch out for, we'd all be good, everything would be great, and there would be no differences and everything would be black and white, it would be boring. No, we all have to walk those paths. We all have to go through our own testimony, even if we know what someone else has gone through, because that story is going to be unique for us and it will help the next generation, but they'll still have to go through those testimonies and trials and tribulations, and there's 3 other T's for you.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiara. So I want to make sure I understand. So you're not saying that it's not okay to share your testimony. You're just saying you have to live your life and go through your own testimony. That's absolutely true. So no matter what you know or what you think you know, because the more you know you don't know. So you need to be studying more so you know. In fact, I like to do this. I like, take your finger and you do a dot like this in space. That dot represents everything that you know. Everything infinitely around that dot is the stuff you don't know. But you don't know it until you know it. Then you're like, oh, I wish I knew that. You ever had that times like, if I only knew what I know today when I was 20. Is that just me?
Yes.
You're like that? You just didn't know, but now you know. Because you lived your testimony and you've been able to put some stuff together that's been able to position you to be able to be a blessing to somebody else, to give them a glimpse of what could be for their own lives. Shanita, I know your story.
Yes.
And And so we
All your teas are awesome for relieving stress, actually. Because to give your testimony actually helps someone. To have tears, there's always joy after the tears. To share your treasures. I mean, what good is being on the top without a friend
I
to
agree.
share it with,
Ooh,
you know?
You said something right there.
And time, I mean, of
Yes.
course, is of the essence. You can't get it back, so you want to enjoy every moment of life
Yes.
at that time that you
Yes.
get it.
Yes.
You never know when it's over.
Is this good, guys? Is this good
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
You think people out here can benefit from what we're sharing tonight?
Yeah. I
Okay.
do want to say one more thing.
Joel, I want to say something. Go ahead.
Thanks, giving thanks, attitude of gratitude. And having the attitude of gratitude every morning, waking up and having the opportunity to exist and go after my goals and share memories with my kids, my family, friends, knowing that no matter what life is going to challenge me with, that I have to stay grateful because there is a purpose for myself and I do have responsibilities. And by staying grateful for everything that I have allows me to have that inner peace, that peace of mind, and be able to look at things clearly. Like, what is my main goal? What is my objective? Who, my associations. So just staying grateful, that's one thing that, of course, I have to remind myself, because even myself, it gets difficult because we're challenging ourselves mentally, telling ourselves, you have to be grateful. Like, if you're not grateful, you're going to forget, you're going to miss out on so many things. And if I tell myself, be grateful for everything, small or big, it doesn't matter. But it's a beautiful, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's empowering.
I get it.
Yes.
Let's clap that up, y'all. That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. Oh, Jennifer.
To wake up
Oh.
in the morning and feel
We can't hear you.
grateful. Yeah, I agree completely, Joel, on what you're saying. To wake up in the morning and know, even if there's a struggle, there's struggles. I do have struggles and there's stress, but to know that you have so much more to be thankful for, and there's so much more beyond this little section of this problem. And even though you don't know what's going to come on the other side of it, you know that something is going to come on the other side of it.
That's right.
Yes.
To not be stuck in it. To
Yes.
still have the joy and the gratitude. It's much bigger than that problem.
Because you still have the or.
The or.
You can choose to
or
sit
the
there
and.
And the end. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Or the and.
Yes. Jamie, you want to say something? Let's clap it up. Clap, 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 clap. Woo, woo. Yes.
So something that cancer's taught me, and
Bring that closer. We want to hear you real good.
I saw a meme once saying that when you're in those stressful situations, think about it, it's like the 5-minute rule. Like, is it gonna matter 5 minutes from now or 5 years from now? If it's not gonna matter 5 minutes from now, then let it go. Don't stress over it. 5 years from now, look at it how you can change it so it's not gonna be that bad in 5 years. So
Wow. I love that. That's good
and
value.
now I have a new perspective on life, and so every little thing that upsets me, I have to stop and say, is it gonna matter 5 minutes from now? No? Then okay, I can just let it go.
So you have a plan to attack things when they approach you, because it's not a question of if, it's just when and will. When will it happen, and will you be prepared? Because most people aren't prepared for stuff that's gonna come. So opportunity is going to favor the prepared to be able to pivot to the positive when you're approached by the negative. Are we going to always get it right? No, only the confused mind comes away with that conclusion. Here's what I'm saying, is that we can fail our way forward and continue to stay in that faith-based side and keep ourselves strong and equipping ourselves to be able to help this hurting humanity, because Lord knows they need us. And there's never been another time in history where you, yes, you, whoever you are, you, where we can actually leverage our space to be able to be some type of benefit or value to other people. And I know everybody gets that. I'm not saying to go out and do something crazy, but no. No, what I'm saying is you can do something. What is the something? And if you're in a slump, for those of you who are in a slump, I don't care what kind of slump it is, there's a little technique of getting out of that slump. And I know they probably understand it, but we want to make sure you understand it. It's going to be on the other side of this last dance break, y'all. We are screaming, She's like Alabama. That's right. Oh, we come back from the break and we like clapping. Oh, now I got my own show. They said I wasn't gonna make it. Yeah, so hey, if you're in a slump, I don't care what the slump is, and if you have those down days, I know I talk a lot. Sherry, there's Sherry. Hey, say hi, Sherry. Hey. It's like I try to express to people that, idle time is the breeding ground of negativity. You're just talking about that, huh? Yeah, she's asking about that. It's so true that idle time is the breeding ground of negativity. And what I mean by that is negativity will sneak and creep. Positive doesn't sneak creep. You have to be intentional about doing something positive, because it's not just going to sneak up on you and be like, positive. No, it's the negative that sneaks and creeps into those little cracks and crevices. There's a book out that called Outwitting the Devil. It's a great book where the author is having a conversation with the devil. And he's asking what some of his tricks are. Even if you're not faith-based, you don't believe in God, that's not the point. His point is that there is this negative spirit out there that has certain strategies that it uses to be able to creep up on you. One is death. Other one is the lack of education. One is sleepwalking through your day. So you wake up in the morning, but you sleepwalk through your day. You make up your hair, your face, but you don't make up your mind that you're going to have something that's good. And that's the negative is a chance to slide in there. It's by the greatest of intention that the positive stuff happens. So if you're in a slump, whatever that slump may be, here's how you get out. Take eyes off of self and put them on someone else. Now, hear that? I'm going to say it again. Take eyes off of self and put them on someone else. Guys, because see, our minds are gullible. They'll believe what you tell them. Just tell it some stuff over and over and over again. I think somebody once said, you tell a lie long enough, then it becomes your truth. There's some truth to that, y'all. So that means our brains are gullible. They say outer space is the final frontier of exploration. That's not true. The final space of exploration is our inner space of our mind. Because our biggest enemy is watch this, inner me. I'll say it again, I lost some of y'all. Our biggest enemy tends to be our inner me, the one who knows all the struggles, all the troubles, all the ups and sideways, our hang-ups, our flaws and fallacies. It knows you can, no matter where you run or how far you run to, you can never get away from you know who, which is you. Y-O-U. That's exactly right. So since that's true, don't try to outrun yourself. Just realize that our enemy tends to be our biggest enemy. Now you equip yourself to be able to pivot to those positive things. So eyes off of self and put them on someone else. And I guarantee that you will find that you're distracted enough to be able to say, oh man, I totally forgot that I was supposed to be sad. Or, oh my goodness, I was worried about that, but I got caught up over here and now I forgot. Anybody have any thoughts on that? You want to share?
I need to practice that more.
Say it again?
I need to practice that more.
Sherry says she needs to practice that more. Well, this may be a news bulletin, but I think we all need to be able to practice that, because once you go outside these four walls and where you're at in your comfort of your own home with the illusion of privacy, Big Brother's watching, you know that, right? You know Big Brother's watching. Wherever you're at, when you go outside, you're gonna breathe the air. Yeah, we feel some ether in here. Yeah, we talked about stuff that gets you fired up and focused and inspired and motivated. Yeah, we talk about stuff, trying to get, but at the end of the day, when we go out there, we have to have that plan that sticks with us that says, hey, Cedric may be a little silly, but he's saying something that made a little sense. Or this person that was over here said something that really resonated with me, whoever that may be. But we want to challenge you in this 2020 to squeeze the juice out of this decade. Notice I didn't say year, the decade, and use it to your advantage to be able to grow something special. If you believe that, say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, this has been really cool. I don't know, was this good? Was this good? This is good. Guys, I want to say thank you first here to my guests that came out, and I'm so stoked. I actually want to do this once a year and use it as an example to raise some money for a good cause too. So it's just parking people in the room and eating, drinking, and being merry, and then say, we're going to turn the camera on. We're going to leverage this space to be able to do something that's special for you up there, whatever platform you're watching this on. Yes, this is, make no mistake about it, this is for you. Any other parting words here? Anybody want to share something that's going to be of value to all these people? Oh, Lydia. Oh, give her a mic, please. Lydia. Kitty girl.
I'm usually the quiet.
Was it off? Somebody turned it off? Okay, there we go.
Okay, I'm usually the quiet one of the two.
Okay.
But I heard you talk about legacy at the beginning, and she was talking about teenagers earlier. And what I do is I'm a teacher. And so you were talking about T's that are powerful, and I think the best thing we can do for teenagers is to give them the tools.
Wow,
You know,
I love
to
that.
recognize that.
Love that.
Mistakes are going to be made, and one of the posters I have up in my classroom is you can't change the past, but you can always change the future.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
That's the
I love
legacy
it.
that we pass on to them.
Yes, let's part that up, y'all. Thank you, Lydia. You know, one of my self-proclaimed mottos is my job is, while I'm on this planet, before I go to Mars, I'm just kidding, is to leave a legacy, a footprint, a brick, metaphorically speaking, obviously. Leave a legacy, L-E-A-V-E. I invite you to consider this as something you can embrace as your own too. L-E-A-V-E is leave, a legacy. Live every day adding value to everyone.
Can I add to that?
Oh, who's that?
Oh. One of my favorite things about legacy is understanding, not to get too heavy hi there. Come on in and have a seat. Come on down and join us. You know, one of the things I think, especially living in this country, and I don't want to get too heavy, but somebody came here before us. Somebody sacrificed, and we owe it to the person, the family member who sacrificed and did what they needed to do to provide a better future for the next generation.
Yes.
And so I think it's important for our younger generations to understand that when we don't live our best life and we don't raise our children to understand that somebody made that sacrifice and worked hard to be here, that they do a disservice to that family member who did that. So whoever it was, however they came, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is you got to come to the greatest country in the world, and your legacy is to understand that you owe them because you get to be here, and you do well because of them, and you do well because they sacrificed so you could have a better life.
Wow. I think that's what it's called. I love you, talking mission. Guys, this has been good. This is good. Good stuff. All right, I think we'll do some guys here. Guys, I know you stuck around. The OG you stuck around. This is a big deal. We love our country. In spite of flaws. To be an American, where at least I know my faith. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that life to me and our lives. All right, guys. I think that's a fitting cap to put on this bottle of a night, and we're gonna say, hey, we love ya. We're glad for you guys tuning in. Share this out. If nothing ever has been share worthy when you watch this, tonight was share worthy. Press your share button. Or for those of you who just chimed in, you're late, go to the principal's office and get your late pass. But press your replay button. That button was created for you. It's somewhere around here. That share button is somewhere around here. I don't know where on your screen, but find it and get it out, because people need to hear these nuggets that we actually shared tonight. And we're going to bid a farewell to you from the tallest building in Bakersfield, California. where we got some of the brightest minds I know. Yes. You're talking about what you said. Thank you, everybody. This is cool. Guys, we will see y'all on the other side on the next show. I don't know who's going to be on it, but I'll tell you it's going to be somebody that's super special. Until next time, remember, we only get one shot at this life thing, my friends. Let's not make it good. Let's make it absolutely right. Oh my gosh! And they started applauding as we went out. Don't let the hearts, my friends. Oh, this is the last part. Let's go. The